Here we go.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Rene with my cycling buddy, Tommy O'Donnell. And today is day 12. We've gone 57 miles. We're over 700 miles into the trip. And we were joined today by Jonathan King, former Olympic cyclist, who joined Sonny and Ann Shu today. So we had 4 people on the road riding basically all day today.
It was a fun day.
So it was a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very fun day. So, Tommy, how do you know Jonathan?
So I know Jonathan through BT as a client of mine, BT Furnishings, and Jonathan's on the leadership team, operations, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you grew up.
All right.
Educational experience and everything else.
Yeah.
What got us to today?
All right. So it's a little bit of a long story, but I grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and then went to school for a couple of years. Went to college. Was on the fast track. I got, I think, 34 credits in 2 years. So I was going to graduate by the time I was 35, and decided I needed to do something different. So I joined the Navy, when you sign up for the military, they make you take a test. It's about 100 questions, and questions are 2 plus 2 and 4 times 4 and 20 minus 10. There were 100 of them, and I got all 100 right. And so the guy comes out, the Navy recruiter comes out and says, "You should be in the nuclear program." So,
because you're a rocket scientist.
Because I had my higher math skills were on point. So,
okay, all right.
Long story short, I ended up joining the Navy in the nuclear program. Was in the Navy for 9 years. During that time, I had a lot of great experiences with leadership, opportunities to lead teams and lead people, and it's kind of my sandbox of what works, what doesn't work, and then decided during that time I really wanted to go into leadership as I left the military. So I finished my bachelor's degree. Was going to school full time, doing 12 to 15 hours a semester, and I was also working in the Navy 50 hours a week, and got a 4.0 for those last 90 hours or whatever I needed. So
Right.
there is hope later on once you figure yourself out.
Right.
And then I got out of the military, worked through a variety of different operations, leadership roles in pharmaceuticals and medical devices. Ended up in supply chain for several years, and then got a lot of exposure to process improvement and lean principles, so Toyota production system, and then started about 2.5 years ago my own consulting firm called Lean Leaders, and we help clients with problem solving, process improvement, and leadership development.
Very cool.
So we were talking today on the bike ride about the importance of systems and process, and tell us a little bit more about that as it related to your experiences.
Right. So
in the Navy.
Yeah. So probably not everyone knows this, but Admiral Rickover was the creator of the nuclear Navy back in the 1950s, and he put together some amazing systems and processes for operating those nuclear reactors and then training up those operators. So there's, at any time around the world and very close to major cities around the U.S., there's a lot of Navy nuclear reactors sitting in those ports, operated by a bunch of very savvy 20 to 22-year-old kids. And
Wow.
and most of those kids they're led by very experienced 25-year-old junior military officers. So and we haven't had an accident ever in the nuclear Navy, and that's a testament to what those
Sure.
processes and systems can do. And none of those people have ever been on a ship, on any of those specific ships, for more than 4 years. So they continually rotate in and out of the Navy and between ships.
Yeah.
So it's a testament to what good process can do for you in an organization.
Yeah. So what are you working on now?
So now I've got I'm working with BT and their leadership team, working to grow their business. And I've got a couple of other clients where I'm helping with processes, problem solving, leadership development. Really love working with people and helping kind of translate some of the things that I've learned through the years in my own leadership failures, and pass those on to other people. So hopefully they can learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, very cool.
we were talking the other day that success is a bad teacher. So you would agree with that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
You learn a lot more when things go wrong.
Yeah. So what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned in life? And you're only, what, 30 years old? How old are you?
I'll be 45 in a couple of weeks.
45?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, wait a minute. 45, you're not kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Okay, all right.
I have a 22-year-old daughter.
All right.
So it's legit.
Well, I have
my driver's license.
I have a 40-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So pretty exciting. So what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned?
So far, I think it's being real with myself about where I'm at, and that it's not all about me. The world's not all about me, which I think takes a long time to figure out for some of us. But then also that we're also capable of doing so much more than we think we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what we didn't do is ask the question.
The question of the day.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The question of the day
From Timara Wade.
Right, and then we'll get into a few of the other questions. But the question of the day from Timara Wade at North Lawndale College Prep is, how do you push yourself to succeed without pushing yourself too far? So, so that's the question.
I'll give you a minute to noodle on that.
Right.
Who's been the biggest influence in your life? Who's had the biggest impact?
I don't know if there's any necessarily one person. I think you can learn a lot of things from a lot of different people. But if there was any one person, it would probably have to be my grandma. She comes from a small town in East Texas, and she's 90. She turned 92 years old a couple of days ago, and she looks like she's about 70. She still works. She's probably on Facebook watching this right now. Part of the work she does is she keeps books for some rancher guy in East Texas because he's unwilling to move to QuickBooks, and she can't understand why she can't convence him to move to QuickBooks.
That's funny. Wow.
Yeah, I want to grow up and be just like her.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome. So it's great, but she just has is so caring. I mean, she works with the Red Cross, she works with Altrusa Club, and she's always helping people. And she has so many friends, but she's also tough, and she has high expectations of herself and for those around her, and she's not gonna let you slide.
Nice.
But she'll love you at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
She sounds awesome. Yeah. Great. All right. So
the question
of the day. All right. So
this would be good coming from someone who's been in the Navy for what? 8 years, 10 years?
9 years. It was about 9 years, a little more than 9 years.
All right, so how do you push yourself to succeed without pushing yourself too far? And that's Timara Wade who asked that question.
All right, that's a really good question. I think first, you have to define what success looks like, and when you're 20, your definition of success probably looks a lot different than what it will look like at 30 and at 40 and for me at 45, and I imagine that in 10 years or it will change again. And so I think first you need to know what does success mean to you, and then so many times when you're talking about pushing yourself towards achieving something, we create our own limits and we create our own boundaries for ourselves, and so much of that is mental. It's not real. It's made up. And so knowing that and then just pushing through that, I think is important. If something scares you, you should probably do it, and you'll find out it probably isn't as scary as you think. Our bike ride today was a great example. I don't think I've been on a bike in 2 years, and we rode 57 miles today, and it scared me and it hurts, but we did it. So it's good.
And we had a few laps.
Yeah, we had some good fun along the way, and so now it's like it's in the rearview mirror, and so it's like, what's next? And so part of pushing yourself is doing something that scares you, and just trying to look for those opportunities and don't back down, because that's where the growth happens. And then the other thing too, without pushing yourself too hard, which I think is an important part. But you know, so many times today you hear people talk about work-life balance, and it's about balance. You have to know what, you know, I talked earlier about your success criteria. What are your goals? And if you're clear on what those are, then sometimes the things you're doing that may seem hard to other people or have seemed hard to yourself, you know where you're going, it makes the journey a lot easier. And it doesn't feel like you're pushing yourself, and other people are like, wow, I can never do that. But for you, it's part of your journey, and it's what you want to do. But you have to know, I mean, you, at some point in your life, you've got, you know, you've got career commitments and career responsibilities, and you've got family commitments and responsibilities. You've got your own health and well-being responsibilities that are out there. And so you've got to be able to know what are your goals for each of those things, and what success, and push yourself to grow in each of those areas, without quitting, without giving up.
Yeah, excellent. So, very good.
And then, you know, sometimes when it's not fun anymore, you know, it's like, oh, well, maybe I need to take a break for a little bit and do something else.
Yeah. So do you think you're a pretty good boss?
I am a better boss today than I was last year, and I'm 100% better than I was 10 years ago, and certainly better than I was 20 years ago. And I hope to be better in the future than I am today. It's a learning experience.
It's definitely a journey.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So this has been great. Thanks so much for taking time out, and first of all, coming all the way up from Dallas.
Right.
You must have been nuts to join us.
Yeah, it's been
Who
fun.
talked you into this?
I don't know.
Was it this guy?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Who talked me into it?
Yeah. Well, don't look at me. No, this has been just terrific. It was a lot of fun being out there today.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
And it's not over yet, because tomorrow,
one more day.
Yeah,
for me.
So Sonny wanted to be out front, so you'll be in the number 2 position. So
you can draft off.
I can have my hand on his back.
Yeah,
the hand of God.
Yes,
the hand of God.
So good.
All
yeah.
right.
So 65 miles
Tomorrow.
One of the highlights is we're going to be crossing over into Canada.
In Canada.
Do we need our passports?
I hear a picture of your license is good enough.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. We'll be waving at you from the other side of the river.
So, and what is it? Port Edward?
Yeah.
On Lake Huron. And then we head south.
Yeah.
Right. Very good.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thanks.
Thanks.
All right.
Good
Take
stuff.
care.
Yeah.